Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. Alex Reynolds, and I'm your professor for sleep and dreaming this summer session. I just wanted to give you guys some information about the class, a little welcome video, and talk about some expectations for the course. So just a little bit about me. I am a sleep researcher. I do several sleep studies on campus. Right now, I'm focused on sleep in college students and learning more about our students' sleep patterns. I do a lot of different types of research in sleep and related, and I'm sure we can get more into that later. If you're ever interested in what this course is all about and think that you would like to do research, I'm always looking for students to work in the lab and to work with me on different projects. So let me know later on if this is something that you think you're interested in. I think that even if you don't particularly want to go into research, you'll still learn a ton about sleep and about your own sleep patterns, which is something that I hope that everyone can gain from this particular class. So just improving your own sleep. Even if you have really good sleep patterns, there's always room for improvement. So just a little bit about the course in general and a little bit about what you guys can expect from the course. There's a lot of readings. There's a few assignments for you guys to apply what you've learned to your own sleep patterns and hopefully to improve those over the course of even this very short summer session. I'm going to show you guys a few things. So I'm going to do a screen share. I'm actually using Zoom right now, and I'm going to get into that later. But this is how I do a lot of my lectures, and this is how I will do my live stream lectures so that you guys can be familiar with that. But I'm going to share my screen really quick, and I'm going to show you actually, I think I'm sharing my screen right now. I thought I was not, but let's see. Let's share this right here. This is the Moodle page. Well, this is the my.uvawise page, and this is how you can get to Moodle. So Moodle is a learning management system, and this is something that I use very heavily, not only in my face-to-face classes, but I use it very heavily in online classes. So Moodle is a learning management system where I can use it as a platform to post anything that you need for the course, and I do use it so much that you guys would probably want to check it every day, if not every other day, just so that you're prepared. I also might send messages and announcements through Moodle, and that gets sent to your UVA-wise email account. So I would suggest that you check that regularly as well. So if you've never logged into Moodle before, you would use your normal username and password like you would for email. And chances are, if you take more classes with me or you take classes with other professors who use Moodle, you'll be using this pretty regularly throughout the semester. So if you go to either the UVA-wise main page or if you go to my UVA-wise, what you'll find is that there's in this page, there's a quick menu. And so the quick menu has things like your webmail access. It also has the Moodle login page and lots of other quick things that you guys will need just over the course of your semester. So when you log into Moodle, you'll see that we have a page for the class. And once this welcome video is done, I'll load it onto our page so that you guys can watch this however many times you need to. And so you'll see on here, there's an announcement section. So anytime I have something important that I want everyone to know, I'll put it there. It'll also usually get emailed out, usually at 5 p.m. every day. Here is the beginning of the course. So you'll see that there's a course syllabus and a course schedule. There's also, we're going to be doing some discussion forums, and there's rules and rubrics on what you should and shouldn't post and how I'm grading that. And I'll explain that here in a little bit. There is a knowledge assessment that I have you guys do, and that is because I want to see how much you know walking in. So you should do this first before you look at any of the material, before you watch any of the videos, anything like that. I want to know just what you know. And it's not for a grade, it's just to see what you know. This is something that helps me a lot to know how well students know about sleep, but also what they get from the course. Because if you notice, there's a post-assessment on here as well, and you will do that at the end of the semester. And that's something that I can use to compare how much you know. So don't, cheat or Google the answers or anything like that. The point is, I want to see how much do you know walking in. You'll also see if you scroll down a dream forum, this is sleep and dreaming. And so I do have this forum available. I do have the posts as anonymous. And that way, if you have a really weird post, if really weird dream and you don't really want people to know about it, then you can sort of be anonymous there. You don't have to post in this. This is just something like kind of neat if this is something that's really interesting to you. There's some tips on here how to actually keep a dream journal if that's something that you would like to do. These are ways for you to maximize what you get from a dream, what you remember from a dream. And so, again, this is optional. These posts are non-anonymous. Please be kind to each other on this as well as all other forums. Remember, we're all human. If you go down through the Moodle page, you'll notice that it is all color coded. So I like to think, and I kind of think color coded wise. That's how I organize my brain. And so this is how I like to organize the Moodle page. So for example, the first week is blue. And so all the things that you need to do and all the readings and all that will be kind of in blue here. So this is your schedule for the week. It tells you the topics, what you should read, and then what to do. So if you notice here, almost everything is due on Sunday. And that means that it can get very overwhelming if you come in and go, oh my goodness, I have, 15 things that I need to do by Sunday. If you look on here, you'll see that I actually have suggested completion dates. And that's to help you be on track. Okay. So you shouldn't wait till Sunday to do everything, but occasionally it happens where, you might miss something and you have to do it on Sunday. I do want to warn you that Moodle does have a tendency to go down for maintenance on Sundays. And so if Moodle is down, that means that you can't work on whatever it is that you want to work on. So I do suggest that you do things before the deadlines, and to do it by these suggested deadlines. So that way you're ahead of the game and you're not, stressed out. If you notice that everything in the course is loaded. So it can be overwhelming to scroll through 5 weeks worth of material when, you on day one. So just remember to pace yourself. You can absolutely work ahead. I wouldn't work too far ahead because you might miss some question forum stuff, and I'll get into that in a minute. But especially if you're going on vacation or that you're going to be somewhere where you might not have Wi-Fi, it's best to go ahead and do an exam early or to turn something in early just to make sure that you don't get too far off base. So here you'll see all of your readings, everything that you need, and then there's links to jump you down to where you need to go. So here you'll see the first week, and that is some of the videos that I have. There's a bunch of extra videos and readings that I have you guys do. And so you can see here that there's plenty of stuff to look at instead of just having to rely on reading. And so I'll get to the textbook in just a minute, which really isn't a textbook, but I'll get to that in just a second. So here's some more articles. These are research articles. I know that not everybody is super well versed in reading research, but the more you read it, the better you get at it. So I just suggest giving it a shot, reading through it, giving it your best, giving yourself time to digest it. Most people tend to start with the introduction and then jump to the discussion. You'll find a way that works for you in terms of being able to navigate these kinds of articles. Some of them are really, really, hard to read because they're very technical. So I just say, give it your best, try your best to read it, and, get what you can out of it. Okay. So here you have your forums. The first week, you'll need to do an introduce yourself forum, which is basically, who are you? Where are you from? What's going on? This is a mandatory post. This is an online class, so we don't have that face-to-face interaction. So I want this to be a class where we talk and we discuss ideas. I want to get to know you. I want your classmates to get to know you. I want you all to feel like you're actually taking part in a class versus being very sort of singled out and not feeling connected. So I do want you to start out with an introduce yourself post. If you want to post a video, that's cool too, but you need to answer these questions and do this within the first week. If you don't, then I'll actually have you removed from the course because it shows that you're not participating, and also I don't know who you are. So make sure you do that. There's question forums on here, and so what I do is each week, at this particular point, that all these question forum posts are due on Wednesday. So it's due Wednesday at 11:55 p.m. You will submit whatever question you have, and this is completely optional. This is for extra credit. Every question, you get 1 point of extra credit for submitting a question each week. It's got to be a legitimate question, not something like "What is sleep?" It's got to be an actual question that from the material that we're learning about, that is well thought out. And I'll take all of the questions and then I answer them the following day on Thursday at 12 p.m. I do a live lecture. So I use Zoom and I will live stream my answers to the questions. Now, if you can log in and if you can, because I send a link of like, this is the meeting time and this is the meeting link. You just click the link. You can watch it on your phone, your tablet, your laptop, it doesn't matter. You guys can ask questions because we're all live. So if I have like 4 students that come in at the same time, you can chat. You can actually ask questions to me on chat. You can use your webcam. We can make it interactive, however you want to do it. If you just want to listen, that's fine too. If I answer your question or someone else's question and that spurs another question, or you have a follow-up question, then you can, ask me to clarify. So that's really fun to do. And if nobody asks a question, I won't do a live stream lecture because they're based off of the questions that are asked on this question forum right here. Now, it is not mandatory. And I repeat, it is not mandatory to come in on a live stream lecture. I know people have jobs and they have other things that they do during the day, and they may or may not be able to log in at that time. And that's fine. But I do record them so that if you had a question and you wanted it answered, you can go back and actually view the recording. So it is not mandatory for you to live stream at the moment live, but those are going to be available on Moodle, and also I have a YouTube page that you can look at that. You're going to see that there's discussion forums and question forums for every week. And this is so that, and this is, being really consistent with the interactive portion. I want us to all be talking and sharing ideas. At the top of the page, the Moodle page, you'll see that there is a discussion forum guideline page. That is it's a rubric of how I grade the forum posts. So I want quality posts. I want you to add to the conversation. I want you to really bring something to the discussion. I don't want you to say, oh, that's a great point. If you say that's a great point, you get no credit for that. That's not adding anything, okay? You can say that's a great point and and add to the conversation. So, your posts need to be thought out. They need to be, they need to actually have substance. And so these kinds of classes, especially the online classes, this is, you get out what you put in. If you can fly by the seat of your pants and barely read anything and be able to make a decent grade, or you can really try and you can learn a lot and you can really get a lot from this course. This is one of those applicable courses that might change the rest of your life because you're learning about how to improve your own sleep and learning why it is that we sleep and what that means for not only our species, but other species. And I think that this is something that you can really use for the long term. So put some effort into this, and I think you'll find that it's definitely worth it. Now here, and this is still within the first week because it's still blue, you'll see that there's a syllabus and course schedule quiz. This is probably the easiest quiz you'll ever take in your entire life because you just need to pull up the quiz, pull up the syllabus, and pull up the course schedule, and literally the answers are on there. So you just need to read it. It's a way to ensure that you're actually reading the syllabus and that you understand what's expected of you. The syllabus is a contract. It's the expectations that I expect from you as a student and expectations that you can expect from me as your professor. And so I want to make sure that you understand each part. how I calculate the grade, and how, what you have to do to actually succeed in the course. So you have to do the syllabus quiz. If you don't, I'll have you taken out of the course, again, from lack of participation. You need to not only do the quiz, but you need to make 100% on it. And it is set up so that you can, keep trying to make 100, but you must make 100 on the quiz. But again, you use the syllabus, you use a course schedule, and that should help you with that. Now, the first exam here, this one is over all the reading and all the material that you have with the first week's worth of material. Okay, so that is available, and I don't suggest that you do it on your cell phone. I do suggest that you do it on a laptop, or do it on a desktop computer, because that's going to be, you don't want to accidentally be bumped out or something from your cell phone. Now, if you continue on through Moodle, you'll notice that there's more color-coded options here. You see that week 2 is kind of this yellowish tan color. And again, as you go through, you'll see the assignments, you'll see the lecture slides, you'll see everything associated with that. I do want to point out that you guys do have to do 2 sleep logs. And so here it tells you when you start them and when you finish them and when you have to turn them in. And then it also shows you on the second one as well. I have a template to show you how to fill out the sleep log. And there's a sleep paper that you'll need to do. There's 2 of them. And I give you a template to use on those as well. So everything that you need, you have on Moodle. You just have to kind of click through and look at it. So here, as you're going through, you'll see, again, for week 2, more videos and reading material. Here, there's a lot of articles for you guys to read. Here, information about how you need to do your sleep log, when you start it, when you finish it, and then when you should submit it. Now, at the very end, so you're going to do a sleep log for a week, this first sleep log, and you will then have questionnaires to do. And these questionnaires are ways for you to learn how to assess your sleep. You need to do this like the day that you finish the sleep diary, so it's nice and fresh for the week, and you'll report these scores in your paper. And if you do the questionnaires, then your paper will get a severe grade hit, because that's how you assess from paper 1 to paper 2 if you improved. So there's lots of examples, there's lots of information here. It's something that you're going to need to read and give yourself time to do. Here you see there's forums for the second week, and this is information for your submission for your sleep diary, as well as the second exam. Now, week 3 is yellow, as you can see here, and again, as we continue on, you can see your readings, and you can see that there's more lectures and videos for you guys to do, and this is going to continue to week 4, which is green, and then week 5, which is purple. And so here you can see that everything is loaded, everything is available. There's a few things that are for extra credit. There's a few things that you can do here. And again, this is all available for you. So let me then, so I've kind of explained Moodle here. Let me go back and go to the syllabus, because I do want to explain something on here. So let's see here. Let's go to the syllabus, which I have here, and I will share this with you guys. Okay, so here you can see that the syllabus is, it's got a lot of information. It's kind of long, and that's important because you need to read it all and understand it. So it's got my contact information, what you're going to learn from the course. Now, the suggested textbook, this is suggested, so it's not absolutely mandatory. I'm not going to do a book check. I'm not going to know. But I do suggest this book because it's a really good book, and you're going to get a lot out of it. Normally in my face-to-face classes, I say, the textbook really doesn't matter. You're going to get a lot from the course during lectures, seeing me 2 or 3 times a week. But because it's not face-to-face and it's a really short semester, I do suggest to purchase the book. You can get it on Amazon. I believe the bookstore does have it. I think a new version is $60, and the used version you might be able to get for like something like $40. This is a book that was written by William Dement, and we'll talk about him later into the semester, that he wrote for his Stanford class. Now, there are better books out there now, it turns out, that well, they're not available now. There is a book that will be available in 2020 that I helped write. I wrote a chapter in it, and unfortunately, that's just not ready yet. So this is a good book. There's a little outdated in some places, and it reads kind of less like a textbook and more like a book. But it's a good read, especially it's a good for introduction. So this is something that I do want you to purchase because it will help you understand a lot of those more complex things. And I suggest that in an online class. Now, so if you want to get the book, I do suggest it. Now, Zoom is something that I use for not only the live stream lecture, but if you need to meet with me and need to have, if I need to have virtual office hours because you want to discuss your grade and you're not on campus, then I'm happy to meet with you about that. I just need a little bit of notice. So if you want to email me and say, hey, I'm in Wise, are you available on Tuesday at noon or something like that, then we can work it out. If you're not in Wise, if you're not on campus and want to meet virtually, then we'll use Zoom, and I can just send you a link, and that's really, really easy to use. I've already explained the live lectures and the fact that it's not mandatory. This has all of the due dates on here. Just make that a little bit bigger so you can see it. And it also has some details on the assignments and extra credit, some information about making sure that when you post that you're kind and that you remember that these are people behind the computer, and also you're probably going to have a class with them again in the future, so don't be a jerk because they'll remember that. So let's see. So another big thing about plagiarism, this is a class that you need to make sure that you do everything independently. If there is a place for you to work together with something, I would actually explicitly say that everything else needs to be done, especially the exams need to be done independently. And if you do cheat, then you would get an F on the exam, 0 on the exam, and very likely you would end up failing the course. So make sure that everything you use for this class is only for this class and not, recycled from something else. If you're struggling, let me know. Start from the day one. Don't wait to the last minute to let me know that you're struggling. I'm happy to help you as best I can, and we can, try to work through it. If you know you're going to go on vacation, or if you know you're not going to be available, take a look at this course schedule and make sure that you actually work ahead on the days that you need to, because everything's available ahead of time. As you can see, everything here is, the due dates are all listed and everything. Because it's all available ahead of time, that means that I can't actually take any late work. So you need to make sure that you go ahead and you work ahead on those days that you actually are going to be gone, or whatever it might be. And if it's a true extenuating circumstance, like seriously severe stuff, then we can work something out. But I can't accept late work when you have everything available from day one. So let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I particularly missed on this particular thing. I think the only thing that I have left to really kind of punch home is that I am a type of person that I need to have reminders. If I don't have a reminder, then I'm not going to get it done. If I don't have it in my phone, I'm not going to be there. I'm not going to show up at that meeting. And so I know that a lot of people kind of work this way. And I highly suggest that if you're that kind of person, you take those due dates and the suggested due dates and you put them in your phone, and you have your phone send you reminders, and have your phone tell you, hey, this is due. Make sure you do it. Now, don't put a reminder in for Sunday and say 10 minutes before the deadline, let it ping you, because then you're going to miss it. So instead, if something's due on Sunday, perhaps have it send you a reminder for Friday or for Thursday. And that will be for you to be able to actually get it done in time. one thing about Moodle is that I set these deadlines to 11:55 p.m. So that means that if you are working on an exam and you log in at 11:50 p.m., you have 5 minutes to take that exam before it shuts off. If you have 30 minutes allotted for the exam, it doesn't matter. It shuts off at that deadline. So keep in mind that Moodle goes under a maintenance on Sundays, so maybe avoid Sunday afternoon, Sunday evenings. Do stuff ahead of time. Do stuff when you can, so that way you're not missing those deadlines. Use those suggested dates. Take advantage of the extra credit opportunities. Read through the material. If you have questions, I'm here for you. And if, for example, you on the question forum say, I would really like to have a lecture on XYZ, let me know. Send me an email. I'm really open and flexible, and I'd love to, provide anything that you feel like is needed in the course. So I think that's pretty much everything. I have a list here. Just make sure I got everything checked off. Please make sure to check your Moodle and your email very regularly. This is a really fun course. This is probably one of my, it's this course and Psychology of Sleep that are my two absolute favorite courses. So I love reading through the discussion forums and hearing your ideas and seeing what you have to say. I won't comment on every single one of them, but I will be reading them and grading them, and I'll comment where needed, and expand on the conversation where it makes sense. So make sure you're going through and you're doing your assignments on time for that. So here's to a really great semester. I wish you the best of luck. And if you have any questions whatsoever, please shoot me an email and we will have a good time. All right. See you guys later.